Over the past few years, our students have done an increasing number of projects relating to reducing waste, especially plastic waste, because they've become concerned about the growing problem of plastic in our oceans. And one of these projects was the Ocean Friendly Restaurants project that started as their Foam Free Future campaign to help local businesses reduce styrofoam and plastic waste. They also started a project called Spork It Up to promote the use of reusable bamboo sporks in place of plastic utensils. So by fall of 2015, these projects had become more popular, and we were approached by Lahaina Plantation Days about selling sporks at their event and helping them reduce their waste at the event in general. And that same weekend, my friend Gretchen Lozano was trying to help the Aloha Aina March out in Lahaina to reduce their waste. So we ended up all combining forces in that weekend and helping design zero waste stations for Lahaina Plantation Days, and then also running zero waste stations at the Aloha Aina March.
So I first got introduced to this whole concept when I ended up moving to Oahu for the summer. My roommate came home one day and was like, "Hey, my friend Jen needs help doing composting." I was like, "Composting? Where?" So we went down to the Haleiwa Arts Festival, and they had these zero waste stations set up. They had a company called 3 Trees. I loved telling people that they could throw everything in their hand away in the compost and that it was going to turn back into soil. And I loved watching the look on people's faces.
A couple of years later, we had more and more people inquiring about how to reduce waste at their event, at their organization, in schools, and so we started to formalize our Huliau Zero Waste Events program into a service that we could offer at larger events on Maui.
For the Huliau Zero Waste Event programs, we provide a lot of services for large events on Maui. We talk to the vendors and planning committees of these events to give them ideas of compostable and reusable products for their events. And we provide volunteers to work the stations to help people understand what is compostable and recyclable and what ends up in the landfill. We also take all the trash and weigh it and do a report on it to see how much was diverted from the landfill from each event. And then we take all the food waste and compostables to Kupa'a Farms.
We did 3 major events this year, the first of which being the Indigenous Crop Biodiversity Festival. It was at the Maui Tropical Plantation, and we diverted over 86% of waste from the landfill through compost and recycling. The largest event we did this year was the Ho'omau. It was for the Hawaiian immersion programs, and it was attended by over 3,600 people, and we were able to divert over 69% of waste from the landfill, which is great for how large the festival was. We were able to achieve this by helping all the vendors get compostable products, and we had 4 zero waste stations set up across the festival to help people sort through their waste.
So we decided to do Ho'omau as our zero waste event because at the school we're always teaching kids about Malama Aina and Aloha Aina, and we thought it would be really important to show them and the public that this is something that is possible. And we felt it was really important to educate everyone, and so that's why we decided to do a zero waste event. We had a lot of positive feedback at Ho'omau about the zero waste event. There was a lot of people in the public, also the parents at our school, that were inquiring on how to carry on this idea in their homes. And so at Punana we're hoping that this is something that we can encourage parents to do to reduce waste within their homes.
The third event we did this year was Paddle Imua. It was a paddling race and a fundraiser for Camp Imua, and we were able to divert over 85% of waste from the landfill, which is great for our first year.
This year we just recently held our 6th annual Paddle Imua race. It's a really inclusive and fun event that raises money for a great cause. So this year, Emo Family Services really wanted our event to be a zero waste event because the race is taking place on the ocean with hundreds of people. So it's really important to us to try to reduce our impact on the environment and keep our footprint as small as possible so that we're respecting the land and the ocean, as well as educating our participants and spreading awareness to everyone that's there, both in the race as well as the Ohana festivals. We are very proud to partner with Maui Huliau Foundation this year, as well as engage some of our sponsors and our vendors in those efforts to help reduce our waste.
For the Made in Maui County Festival, we did a waste audit where we sorted through the trash and weighed what could have been recycled or composted. And we went around to the food vendors to see which of their products could be replaced with compostable or reusable products instead for next year. And we gave their planning committee recommendations for next year to go zero waste, because if they were to, then it would make a huge impact because they are one of the largest festivals on Maui, attended by over 10,000 people.
When we do put on community events and attend these zero waste events, we tell people about mulching or about composting, things that they can do other than throwing things out into the landfill and just throwing everything away in one giant pile. People are actually surprised when we do these zero waste events because we're educating them about what we're doing with the products that we're taking, whether it be composting them, mulching them, recycling, or throwing them away. Unfortunately, there are things that we still have to throw away when we go to these zero waste events, but we do minimize what is tossed out into the landfill.
We've been approached by a lot of small events in this first year, and since we are unable to attend every single event, we're trying to come up with a way to loan the stations to nonprofits or staff like Campi Mua and to train them on how to work the stations at these events.
So moving forward, we absolutely want to keep our future events, zero waste events, as well as try to think of other ways to incorporate these types of initiatives into our other programs, because what seems like it would sort of be common sense for most people, actually does take a little bit of work and thought, but once people begin to do it and they're educated, they realize how much easier it is than you might have thought and how significant your impact can be with such small changes.
On Maui, I think the most important thing that we need right now is a commercial composter that accepts food waste and food serviceware, because then all of our efforts can come full circle. We can actually turn all of these single-use products back into soil, and that would make a huge impact.
At first, the whole idea of zero waste stations is a really foreign concept to people because we're just so used to trash cans and throwing things away in our society today. So that has been part of the challenge of this program for sure, is just to break that habit that's so ingrained in us, but at the same time, that's a big part of the opportunity that this program provides and how it can actually be really empowering to work as a community and a team together to see how much of our waste we can reduce. It can be kind of fun even, and we've generally got really positive feedback from people at the events, from event coordinators. It's a little bit more effort at first, but then in the end we found everybody really feels great about the end result, and it's been really exciting to see some of our biggest events on Maui stepping up and trying to make this change in a big way. So we're very excited about next year.